here is where I present what type of technology we have used in order to make an obvious change throughout the year for our product. For example, last year we used just generic types such as computers and just one software. This year we used more than 2 softwares, and actually we did surpass 5 softwares in total. So first I'm going to show you a short tutorial of how I did the titles on Pro Premiere and then After Effects. Enjoy! So here's where I introduce the complex techniques I use for After Effects from a tutorial I've been learning for around 2 weeks. And I firstly want to start with the normal background, which we select around 3 main solids: dark grey and black, and white, as we want to do dark corners, because from a pull from different movies we see that the audience really love corners in depth, and which they made the title stand out. I also am trying to make a separate background from the logo, so it will be way easier for me to animate, because this is one of the main improvements since last year. So one of the techniques I'm using is feathering and changing the opacity for the corners, and I think you just have to experiment till you get it visually nice. And then I'm going to make another composition, and I'm just going to start typing in my title. And I also, one of the main important things is the color and the font, and of course I had to change the font as we did not have it on After Effects. So we did use Gothic, and it was a really nice font, and actually been used in different teaser trailers. For another point, I also want to say the reason I chose the color red for the first 2 letters is because there are 5 people, and the 5 letters represent each person. So it shows like the 2 letters are changing as the people are changing. Also, I'll start shattering through another new composition, which is one of the main parts of the editing, and this is quite complex as the numbers are quite complicated, and I had to render all the time because the visual impact is really big, so I had to have some patience, and I had to try around 4 times over and over again. So all I did is I needed to calculate different masses of the numbers, so I can have the proper effect as the shatter bits is actually coming towards the screen and it's not looking like it's falling. And I did this through inserting different numbers, which I will leave on the screen in case you cannot see them directly because maybe it's too fast. And we have repetition, gravity, depth and strength. And those are the only things I chose to change, so I won't complicate things too much. Also, because I thought the tutorial was going to be too long, and it's almost just like experimenting and choosing the right colors and numbers and actually having patience in doing it right, I'll show my original file from the Pro Premiere and After Effects, especially where I have all my layers with the first and second composition logo, main explosion, and writing and main merged product. So one of the things I did, which was really different from Persona, the title you'll see soon on the screen, it's actually we introduced shadows which move and explode at the same time, which actually is quite complicated because I never tried After Effects, and this is one of the biggest advantages we have this year. It's like we used so many different technologies. It actually helped us raise the quality of our product. And of course the impact was amazing and it was beautifully visual. Studio 4 Media was really useful as there's my main source of resources. There's my main source of everything I use, such as flares and lighting, which they're amazing and the quality is just perfect. And all I had to do is to change the parenting layers and add, and also I just need to overlap some layers so I can make it look proper. So yeah, this is quite the main things I did for the editing, and some of the techniques I actually used for the cinematic trailers, the mini titles, which we had around 3 because we didn't want too many, as that would have been a bit draggy and too complicated and too boring, and the audience would just get annoyed and actually or just drop watching the teaser trailer, which we don't want, of course. And we had something really catchy, which is a font with stars. After I did watch some teaser trailers, and loads of stars were used, but not exaggerated, just a small quantity of stars, and it was small. And also we used red smoke, which was completely different from the tutorial I followed, because the tutorial I followed, it had around green and yellow shades, and I did not want that because it did not connote anything from our movie. Technology has been one of the most important parts, as we all know, because it helped us improve in our project. And also, I'm going to show you what I mean. Throughout the project, we have used most of the time softwares and different websites to help us research and plan everything in time in a professional manner. So let's start with the research, as it is the first step we took in our project, and let's see which type of technology we have used for our research. Weebly is our main website where we can source anything we want to learn, especially developing our planning, and one of the biggest advantages is that we could have blogged on my phone app where I was on a train or the bus. Also, the website had different type of updates, which is really good because it comes out with news and also new features, which is really good because it's new and it's always up to grade. Apple Macs have an amazing speed power, and this has personally allowed me to work faster, and as the screen is wider, I can leave some of the files I'll be working on the spot on desktop, being easier to drag them on my main software. YouTube was incredibly useful because it's the main quick source I could find teaser trailers and tutorials, and we also can find our main teaser trailer. On the internet, we use Google Chrome, a frequent source for information. However, we needed to be careful and access reliable websites for credible facts such as MIDB. Besides the technology we have used in our research, we did use something quite different in our planning, such as Photoshop, QuickTime, Movie Maker, Canon cameras, and graphic tablets. We thought that last year's planning was a bit generic, so we thought of bringing up the level a bit by using character concepts for our main characters and actors. In our teaser trailer, we had beautiful surroundings and beautiful sceneries where it could imply our genre. Also, the settings, which you had loads of props, we had to record them by using Canon cameras before the set designer will actually make the storyboard, because we want to have inspirations and other examples for different ideas. So for this, I had to ask the set designer what inspired him to produce these beautiful sceneries and props. So Jacob Reedy, which was your main inspiration for the beautiful sceneries, and how technology helped you to come up with this?
For the Blood of Abel scene, which was the scene which was backstage of the theatre, I was inspired by lots of different movies where detectives would pin up different pictures trying to link everything together. So for that scene, it took many hours, and I was looking on my phone trying to find pictures, putting on the Weebly, just having everything there so I could actually picture it. And Weebly was very good so I could put all the pictures together and actually visualise it. I also used Illustrator, where I'd sketch it out quickly about like what it would look like. So when I had an idea of what I wanted, I went there and I kind of just like got all the images that I had and just put them up, and kept looking back at detective work where they would pin everything together, putting everything together like an unsolved case with the picture.
So taking picture actually helped you because you actually could pin up things on the wall and you can actually visualize how it's going to look like.
Yeah, so I got loads of pictures, able to visualize it, so people looked at different pictures, so I put them up. After the amazing interview we had with Jacob Reedy, I thought we should talk more about Canon cameras, because they really helped us have a better impression of where we can put the things, and actually we can visualize our final product. Firstly, we went in a park because we thought it's really nice, and the weather was perfect for our filming and for our genre because it was a bit spooky and it gave a bit of mystery atmosphere. And also we had to take so many pictures because we couldn't decide at the first where we're gonna sit our first shot and how we're gonna edit, and also we needed to have silhouettes, so it took quite a while to find hills and lighting. The whole filming process was quite difficult because we had a battle between time and quality, because we had loads of time to film but also we needed
quite a lot of time to edit because we had difficult shots and difficult effects. Also, internet again and YouTube helped me massively because I looked on tutorials and special websites where you can find amazing artists showing me different techniques. Like for example, the vertigo shot. I couldn't do it by myself without looking on a tutorial, and it was amazing because we had success with the shot, which is quite difficult. Talking about softwares, Photoshop was one of our main ones besides Pro Premiere, which was our whole editing for the teaser trailer. Photoshop was mainly used for the poster, which was a quite big success, and our artist, he didn't use only Photoshop for the poster. He used Illustrator for different fonts and different type of headings because we wanted a specific one. We didn't want something really boring or something quite generic. We want something unique as a selling unique point. And for this, for example, Photoshop was really good at manipulating photos, doing silhouettes, changing lighting and contrast. And also Illustrator again was really good with patterns and different shapes. The magazine process, however, was a bit different because we used just one software, and Photoshop of course, because our artist decided this after the research and the planning. However, Photoshop has really good options which Illustrator does not have, and most of the artists did have only options for Photoshop and did the magazines only on that. Magazines regarding only magazine covers. Also, I really want to talk about what helped us to do our main image on the magazine. Before we actually used Photoshop for the magazine, we had lighting, mics, different type of cameras, just because we had the photo shoot to get all the original photos. After we talked about the magazine and the poster, it's kind of time to talk about the technology used in our teaser trailer, which, to be honest, was a bit difficult because every single time I had to edit something, I had to change the music again because the music was in harmony with the pace of the teaser trailer and everything visually you could see. Also, one of the things I really liked and I did not expect, it's how Pro Premiere and After Effects interact with each other. Because when I have the Pro Premiere up, I can do, for example, a quick cinematic, or for example, even better, I have After Effects, and then I do like a really quick cinematic or a really quick title, and all I have to do is press the button, file, export, and then it's just gonna simply insert on the Pro Premiere, which is really useful and I can't waste time with that. Besides cinematic titles and titles, After Effects had another big purpose. The software actually could erase things from the background, objects, people, animals, anything. Also, this was a bit difficult because it was the first time me using this type of software. Adobe Audition was one of our most challenging softwares because we're not really into music, but it was a really nice challenge. And of course, this software was used for the voiceover, and the benefits coming out of it, it was really helpful because when we recorded, we had some voices on the tape which were outside of the recording room, and it was quite annoying. However, in the recording area, we had specific equipment such as a mic, headphones, and the sound control panel. And finally, I just want to say how useful was technology for us, simply because we could correct every mistake we've made and also helped us enhance beautiful sceneries which you could have done with just a simple camera.